Back on the review, Game of Thrones Season 2.
Mm.
Call me Young Boo, but I ain't a ghost. They say, where that accent from, boy? You from the East Coast? I said, chill, bro.
Yep.
Game of Thrones Season 2, The Nightlands. We're back doing Season 2. It's me and the Nerd Soup Monkey, Aaron. How you doing, Aaron?
Great.
How's life? How's life treating you? Treating you or beating you?
A little of both, but hey, life can be hard sometimes, but sometimes it goes the other way too.
Wow, I'm going to put that on my senior picture. Game of Thrones Season 2, The Nightlands. Good thing I don't have my notes up because I have no idea. Oh, it starts with Arya and Gendry. I don't need notes. I'm mental notes. That's what they call me.
Yeah, but instead it starts with Arya and Jaqen.
Ah, Jaqen.
So,
Jaqen.
better check your mental
You like
notes.
Jaqen?
Oh, okay.
To get on a serious note, an introduction to a great character. And it's such a mysterious introduction because the way he talks, where he just, he talks about himself in the third person, it's so cool. The character is just really cool.
I mean, the Night's Watch is going to get a low-key big three coming up north.
Right, this could have been a great
They could have used
addition.
them up there.
Yeah.
I mean, Biter and Roge, they might not be the best guys, but they can probably kill some wildlings.
And so many fans have speculated about this. What is he doing there?
Different things with like the Grand Maester conspiracies from the books and the Faceless Man's purpose in the book. You could probably piece together like he's trying to gather information. I'm sure someone has pieced it together, not us, obviously. But
Well, I've read a lot of theories.
there's so
about
many
it.
different theories that you can point to. Like he tries to infiltrate the Citadel. Maybe he needed to go to King's Landing to...
But even that in the books, it's like, what's that, A Dance with Dragons? Or the end for Feast for Crows?
It's the epilogue of Feast.
Right. Even that, it's not confirmed that it's Jaqen Hagar. It's speculated.
Yeah, what would help actually with all these speculations?
What?
If you finish Winds of Winter.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But come on.
We meet Jaqen, and right away he has respect for Arya's courage. He even says to her, "Boy has courage, but doesn't think."
More courage than sense.
It's more courage than sense. Yeah. Wow. Thanks for that. You really picked me up on that one.
I never forget a line of dialogue.
Yeah, but you leave your phone on during recordings.
Well, everybody kept always screaming at me for looking at Twitter during the recordings, and I stopped that. I got help for my addiction.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then the gold cloaks come down and Euron protecting the team.
Oh, Yarn. He is so cool in this scene. And I love that when he's like, these men are property of the Night's... Not property, but they're part of the Night's Watch now. They're beyond any reach of any kings. It's right, even before you say the words, the Night's Watch has your back. It really is like a brotherhood. And the line where he, with a gold cloak, pulls out his sword, and Euron's got his sword right on his thigh, and he's like...
Now, I sharpened this blade before breakfast. I could shave a spider's arse if I wanted to. Or I could nick this artery in your leg, and once it's nicked, there's no one around here knows how to unnick it.
I love that line. It's a great back and forth, but it's the continuation of that massacre that we saw at the end of episode 1, where they're looking for Gendry.
Someone probably was real close to ratting him out. Probably would have got Harrenhal out of it. Lamy, Lord of Harrenhal.
Oh, somebody was looking for Arya. Right here, it's Gendry. And who are you? Ari, the orphan boy.
You have Harrenhal now.
Lord of Harrenhal, congratulations. And here we have the beginning of a friendship.
A little contentious at first, but
it's like they're almost feeling each other out. And I like this, where Tyrion, he's in a very careless mood. He's whistling. He's going back to his room. He expects to see Shae. And what does he see? He sees Varys making her laugh. And as a man, that's got to be the worst feeling ever, when you see another man making your girl laugh. But if it's Varys, it's like, I guess he's just actually funny, It's not like he's pulling any moves.
Man.
Tyrion's like, oh, you should try her fish pie. He's like, well, don't really like it. Don't like fish pie too much.
I love hearing Tyrion, how he says, I'm not Ned Stark. Like, I'm not a man of honor, which makes Tyrion such a more competent player in the game right off the bat. He can play the game, and he won't let his honor get in the way.
And Varys has a great line, too, where Tyrion threatens to throw him in the ocean. And Varys is like, the big fish eat the little fish, and I still keep on paddling.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, basically.
What do you got, man?
I've been thinking Varys gets the best of a lot of people that he has these sparring sessions with. And especially this scene, it's two intellectuals, like I said, feeling each other out. And I think Varys is conscious of the mistake he made in season 1, where he waited too long to put his trust in Ned, and he's not wasting any time with Tyrion. I'm going to figure out what this guy's about. And I think right from this scene, he could tell that Tyrion is a decent man. And throughout this episode, Tyrion reinforces, he says, I'm not a man of honor. He's got some honor. You know, that the realism and the pragmatism of Tyrion allows him to see situations better than most. And I think the show version of Varys is much more like Tyrion rather than his book counterpart.
Yeah, and Tyrion, he knows when it's time to be honorable and to get down and dirty.
Right, and we see that later in this episode. And the small council meeting where their cousin, the Lannister cousin, is bringing the terms, Robb Stark's terms. And you could see Tyrion when he says, travel safely, cousin. And I always wonder if this is what Tyrion was thinking of when he met Jon in season 7. We've been warned about this before, and Tyrion doesn't necessarily believe Jeor, but he's thinking to himself, why would he lie about this? And Jeor and Maester Aemon in season 1, they warn him when he leaves the wall. They say, tell the king that the cold winds are rising and we're seeing some freaky shit up here.
Yeah, but you could just tell right away the differences between the respect that the North has for the Night's Watch and the Southerners just completely disregard it.
Right. And that's one of the main themes of the show is that all these people are squabbling. Meanwhile, the real threat is up north. And Cersei says, I have all the confidence in the men of the Night's Watch that they'll protect us.
Yeah, but like in a real douchey way.
Yeah, and she also learns about Mance Rayder, and she says, oh, how many kings is that now? 5? And back at Craster's Keep, we have that conversation between Sam and Ed and Gren, and they're talking about all of Craster's wives. I love how Sam is just so concentrated on women.
I know, like sex to him blows his mind.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I can't wait to do this.
Every time I talk about it, it's like, wow, really? Like,
well, I love when he brought it up to Jon, too, in season 1, and Jon's like, are you really thinking about this? You? It's funny, you know? He might be a coward, but he's pretty confident.
And then Sam kind of protects Gilly from Ghost, who is looking... You said Grey Wind is looking like a snack last episode? What's Ghost looking like then?
Ghost is looking like a 3-course meal. Because Ghost... well, he's everybody's favorite direwolf, but...
I was thinking about this before, too, like...
You think Sam and Ghost set that up before this?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, Ghost, go scare her. And then what are you doing, wolf? Where do you come from?
Be gone!
You shall not. It's Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
it's
really?
Another fantasy. Big influence on George R.R. Martin.
Wow.
Yeah. He doesn't even have a middle name. He just took the R.R. Strange. Yeah, but it's Sam. I don't know. What do you think about Sam and Gilly? It's the first time we get to see them together.
It's nice, you know? Like
at the beginning.
In the beginning. It's Sam kind of, like we said before, like how he's never really been with a woman or a woman's never really paid attention to him. It's kind of him, you know, trying to...
Take advantage of the circumstances?
Not necessarily.
What is he thinking with Jon?
Not necessarily, but he's just, you know, he's vulnerable. He's easy to, I guess, manipulate. I think that's what Gilly kind of does, because when he goes to Jon, he says, oh, Gilly told me we need to get her out of here. So I guess she sees that in Sam, like, oh, I can kind of...
Once again with the sons, where she's saying, if I have a son, and then she stops short.
And Sam's just generally a nice dude. Like, he's going to try to help when he can.
Yeah, you get more of...
But he'll get his bigger, stronger, more skilled friend to do it for him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Jon. But it's also Sam, like you said, it's his worldview in terms of what Jon says, we can't steal her. And, you know, she's not a goat. It begins their relationship and once again hints at what is happening to Craster's sons. And I guess we can assume that they're just being killed at this point, that Craster just kills them. So I have no use for sons. And this is probably my favorite scene of the episode. And it's very brief. It's only a 3-minute scene. It's Daenerys and Jorah, and they're back in Essos. One of Daenerys' blood riders returns, Rakharo, and his head has been chopped off. And it's sitting in the bag, and it's leaking out. And this scene, when she comforts one of her handmaidens, it's haunting.
My favorite part about the scene is that she wants to see the head for herself. It's
right.
true to her character. She wanted to see Drogo after... you know, Miri and her whole spells in the tent. She wanted to see every child slave on the way to Meereen. So that's like part of her character. It allows her to remember all the time she's been wronged. And
it's almost like a northern quality. Like the man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
Well, she's just going to know when time comes, and she's always confident that she will have her revenge. So when that day comes, I'm going to remember the head. I'm going to remember the children that you put up.
I forget the character's name, but her scream at the end, when she says, oh, he'll never be able to run with his ancestors in the Nightlands. And that's the title of the episode, which is telling because this scene is only about 3 minutes long, but that's the title of the episode, and it just speaks to how powerful this scene is. That scream at the end to me is just haunting. The way that it just carries in that the long shot of the landscape and
Eerie.
Eerie, yeah.
I was between her and Doreen mixed up.
Yeah, I think it's such a great scene. But yeah, really, the whole scene really does speak to Daenerys' character. And this scene speaks to the character of Theon Greyjoy, where he sees the Iron Islands for the first time since he was a boy. And he thinks that he's going to have this great welcoming.
Yeah, he expects the heroes to turn like he's some kind of big shot. And like from this scene on, there's nothing to like about Theon for the rest of the show.
You know what I was thinking? Theon's a dumb guy.
He's not smart.
No, he's just like, I'm not saying this to insult him. it's an observation.
Yeah, in case he listens. You don't want to.
But I'm not saying like, oh, he's dumb, I don't like him. He's just like genuinely not a smart guy. Like he's not a character that's making bad decisions because he's not like a smart character, but things get in the way where he's making bad decisions because of love or duty or he's misguided. He's just dumb. Like he doesn't know how the world works. And you could tell the whole theme of his journey in this episode, this mini arc that he has is he's not an Ironborn. He's a Northerner. Even though as much as he wants to live up to the family name, he just can't because he's been raised by other people. And just to skip ahead to when he meets Yara, it's once again that he can't even recognize that this woman is his sister because he's so caught up in his return. It's such an awkward scene when you figure out who she actually is.
But when you're Yara, like, there's a time to tell him, like, hey, I'm your sister.
Well, I think it's a very Ironborn thing to do, They're weird people.
Yeah.
They've got weird ways, and she's feeling him out, and he's feeling hers. Feeling her in.
Oh, okay. I like when he gets off, he's like, yeah, the ship has wine, this and that.
Oh, and he's talking to that guy.
It's like, end the air to Pike in the Iron Islands. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
The guy, I love his response. I don't like wine. It's so good. When he meets his father, we'll just skip ahead and cover all of this. It's his father is
just get Theon over with.
Yeah, we'll get Theon over with in the Iron Islands. The way that his father is just tearing him down in the scene, it's what do you expect from this kid? Your stupidity, I guess it just runs in the family. You're the one who started a rebellion. You're the reason that he was taken as a hostage by the Starks. If you didn't want him to be raised by the Starks, then don't start a fucking stupid rebellion.
And then
you're going to criticize the man because he's dressing and talking and acting like a Northerner. No shit.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
It's different too because Theon grew up seeing like the way the small folk respect Ned and the Stark family. So he's expecting that as well. That's all he's ever known. And
right.
It's just, Starks to Greyjoys, it's kind of a...
Well, he says that, the Iron Islanders, they're hard men. It's cold and wet and everybody's miserable.
Just subtle things like he's late on when they do what is dead may never die. He's like a second off. He's just he's off from the Greyjoy way.
And it's also interesting too that Balon thought that his daughter could be his successor in this society. The Iron Islanders, they are very old fashioned, but Balon was willing to basically treat his daughter like a man. And I hate the name switch. I always get the fucking names confused now.
Yeah.
Asha, Yara. But I guarantee that the casual fan has no idea who Yara is anyway.
True.
Or Osha. This whole family, they kind of got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, especially in later seasons too.
Yeah, and this next scene, it's one of the most, it's Littlefinger really showing his true colors. Back at Littlefinger's brothel in King's Landing, and Roz can't be with any of the men because she keeps thinking about what she saw last night when the baby was killed in front of her. It would be pretty disturbing, and it would be hard to get over, I guess, if you did see that in real life, right in front of you.
Yeah,
you kind of...
I would imagine so.
But shows kind of brush off, like, how minor characters would react to that sort of situation. But I like how Game of Thrones really focused on a character like Roz to show how that could impact somebody. And at first, it just shows the great manipulator that Littlefinger is.
And this could be a precursor to Roz spying on Littlefinger that we see later on. Like you said before, this is when we see the ruthless nature of Littlefinger. He's not the one for human emotions. I don't think he really understands that because his only motivation is
I think he understands it perfectly, but he knows how to manipulate people and whip them into shape. I think he underestimated Roz in this scene.
Well, yeah,
he thought, oh, this is going to be easy. I'll comfort her, and then you become terrifying.
But no, he's not the one, though, to expect sympathy in return. He only cares about himself.
Oh, right, yeah. But this was never about sympathy. It was about presenting sympathy and then turning it on its head and saying, yeah, get your shit together or else I'll fucking murder you.
Yeah.
But he never says that, It's telling that story which could be true, and he maybe just made it up. You never know with Littlefinger, but he is genuinely terrifying in this scene.
Yeah.
The way that Aidan Gillen delivers the lines, like you said, the lower Littlefinger voice.
He probably did that. It's like, whoa, this could work. And, Littlefinger hates bad investments. Speaking of which, how's the cryptocurrency game going?
Ripple is currently climbing at 52 cents.
Wow.
So, yeah, I refresh my phone every 5 seconds.
That's healthy.
I'm usually disappointed. And the cinematography in this scene is beautiful. The red hues, the red filter that kind of engulfs the room and conversation between Littlefinger and Ros. And people always make the case that television has become just as cinematic, if not more so, than the movies. And Game of Thrones has kind of set that standard, where you have so many shots and scenes and sequences that look like they were shot for an actual theatrical movie. But the cinematography throughout all seasons has always been gorgeous. But this scene in particular is the standout for this episode. Like I said in the last review for episode 1 of season 2, this is why it's my favorite season, because of scenes like this with Littlefinger and Ros, and scenes like this with Tyrion and Janos Slynt, where we get to see the skills of Tyrion, dealing with somebody that he feels that needs to be eliminated.
I love the subtle build up too. Like it just goes from talking about Pod. Like speaking of which, Pod, what's up, man?
Oh, Podrick, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to the way Littlefinger did it.
Yeah, having a
more
good
elegance.
time. It's like, oh, you've been probably having a lot of nice meals since your new position and things like that. Shooting the shit. And then he starts inquiring about the killing of the bastards and Ned's capture, and slowly builds up to. I love that line he drops on him about referring to Slynt's honor. He's like, oh, I'm denying its existence.
Yeah.
That's an all-time Tyrion line.
When he calls him Dwarf, he's like, oh, you should have stopped that imp. He's got a couple good lines in this.
Tyrion sends him to the wall. I doubt that's what Gior had in mind when he sent the letter.
It's like, oh, you want men?
Yeah. But hey, a body's a body.
In a way, it's almost like he's avenging Ned. And Jon finishes the job in season 5. It's Tyrion and Jon working together. They didn't even know it.
Wow.
And Bronn becomes the new Lord Commander of the City Watch. And this line it's a bit chilling too, where Tyrion asks Bronn, if I commanded you to kill a newborn baby, an innocent baby, would you do it without question? Bronn's like, without question, no. I'd ask you how much. And the look on Tyrion's face, he's like, damn, it's a cold world.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, we are screwed.
I was surprised. Like,
This society sucks.
That's who Bronn is.
It's just the world. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, yeah, I'll do it for a price because I need to survive. Yeah, that's what Janos was doing. Janos was just loyal to the Lannisters. He went with the highest bidder. And obviously Tyrion felt like he couldn't keep somebody like that around because he's not really a Lannister. He's like an outsider. He's very independent of his family. You see it with Pycelle, you see it with Slynt. They're loyal to the Lannisters, not necessarily Tyrion.
Yeah.
And I was thinking while watching this episode that Arya's arc in season 2, it reminds me of Egg from The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Both highborn prince, a highborn princess, both spending most of their time in their childhood with the common folk, doing things that they shouldn't do. They've got the short hair. Obviously Egg shaves all of his head, but Arya had to shave her head to look like a boy, or cut her hair to look like a boy. Mm-hmm. Very similar characters. Obviously, it's different. Arya even ends up spending a couple of seasons with a very tall, not a knight, but, he's basically a knight, the Hound.
No, don't tell him that.
Yeah, I'm not a knight. I'm not a Stark. Yeah, he gets it. That relationship begins between Arya and Gendry. It's very similar to Jon and Arya.
Beginning discussion with Hot Pie, thinking like he knows battles.
Oh, yeah, with the
It's like,
armor.
what do you know? It's like, I sold armor.
Yeah. They do a good callback to that in season 7, too, when he talks about how he saw Brienne at the inn. It's like, yeah, I knew she was a knight because she was wearing armor. It's like he heard Gendry say, just because you have armor doesn't mean you're a knight. Completely ignored it.
Well, and then you can see Gendry's surprise when he finds out who she is, and he starts changing the way he talks to her, changing the way he acts, calling you milady, and Arya gives him an all-time shove to the ground. Well, I think he flopped on that one.
Yeah, I think he flopped. That's definitely a $10,000 fine. But you could see that, the different perspectives of somebody who's a lowborn. Once he finds out that Arya is a highborn, he changes completely. You could just see his face goes from mocking to serious. It's like, oh shit, what have I done? And Arya obviously is not somebody who's going to sell him out and chastise him for not calling her my lady. But I always love this relationship, and a lot of people want to see them get together in the later seasons. That's not going to happen, or the last season.
Yeah.
Because, Game of Thrones is miserable. Nobody has a happy ending. Except Aemon. Aemon had a pretty good life.
Did he?
No. I keep referencing the review we did for episode 1, but when I said that Davos was kind of a mixture of Ned and Tyrion, I think you can see it in this scene with Salador Saan, where he's willing to make a deal with somebody who is a pirate, who's a criminal, he's a murderer, a rapist, but he has something that he needs, and he doesn't trust him, but he understands his motivations. He knows how to manipulate him and to get him on his side.
Yeah, just a little locker room talk, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of boys, talking.
Oh, God. That line about Saladin.
We're not attacking King's Landing so that you can rape the Queen.
I'm not going to rape her. I'm going to fuck her.
It's like, how do you know you're going to do that? He's like, I can be very persuasive. I've never tried to fuck you. Hitting on Davos' son. And I love the look on Davos' face. He's like,
I feel like he likes him kind of like how like Ned is friends with Robert.
Yeah, right. This is a deal that Tyrion would make, but Ned wouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like if you combine Ned and Tyrion, like, that they used to do in Dragon Ball Z, when Goku and Vegeta would, combine. Gogeta.
And we also see when Stannis refers to Salladhor later on, he's kind of hesitant too. He has that same kind of, I guess, honor as Ned, or close to it. I mean, I don't think Ned would do some of the things Stannis has done, but at his core, Stannis believes himself to be an honorable man, and he's hesitant to be involved with Salladhor Saan, the pirates.
He trusts Davos' judgment. And I love the conversation that Davos has with his son, too, where they're talking about faith, and that Davos, he's seen all different types of men believing in all different types of gods. And he says, you want me to believe in a god? King Stannis is my god. Because we see this in today's society, too, where we have these individuals who become heads of state, and they're essentially the gods of their country. You look at some place like a North Korea, they think the guy can fucking speak to dolphins, which if he could, that'd be very impressive.
Can you prove that he can't, though?
That's what I'm saying. Scientists have been working on trying to figure out dolphin language, which, to me, is a lot of shit I want to know about the oceans. We're going to have a middleman.
I'm scared of the ocean, so fuck that.
But it is a change. I referenced this before, too, that Davos, he's an atheist on the show. He's like, you can have your gods and your bullshit. I believe in the guy who gave me my title, who lifted me up. Salladhor says the man chopped off 4 of your fingers and you're madly in love with him, and Davos laughs. But it's true.
Yeah, just a tip.
Is that your Tinder name?
And I like the scene, too, this interaction, because it kind of warms up Davos to the crowd, too, because he's just a new character. Like we said, the second episode of the season, and by the end, in Blackwater, he's kind of that, you're rooting for Tyrion on the side of the Lannisters, but not necessarily Joffrey and the rest of them. And then you're rooting for, you like Davos on the other side, but you're not really sure about Stannis.
My favorite Davos line is,
if we don't put aside our enmities and band together, we will die. And then it doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
I fucking love that line so much. I say it every night before I go to bed, as I pray to my Davos poster. Shout out to Jason Casey for the fan art.
If Davos is your god and Stannis is Davos' god, what's that? How's that work?
Stannis is super god. Yeah, boy. I love Stannis, too. More of a Davos guy, but I love Stannis when he's like, when they're talking about Salladhor Saan, he's like, well, if he gets the job done, he'll have his share. That's the end of it. Just get your fucking job done, man.
Well, yeah, in that same scene, too, we have Melisandre, Davos, his son, and Mel whispers to Davos' son when they leave about death by fire being the purest.
What a turn on.
He's looked. I'm like, is he shocked right now? Or is he just like, that's the hottest thing I ever heard in my life?
I'm thinking she said something else.
No, you can hear it a little bit.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, and Melisandre continues to manipulate Stannis. I mean, there's nothing more to it. Like, she manipulated him up until this point about renouncing his gods and taking up R'hllor, and she just continues to do it. Like, he's hesitant at first to engage with Melisandre physically. Why did I say it like that? It's a banger.
Yeah, like you're embarrassed.
Yeah, it's a banger. And he's like, no, I'm married. And he keeps taking, like, little peeks over. He's like, whew, sheesh.
God damn. But take off the necklace. I want all of you. No. Keep the necklace on.
Does she have it on in this?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
She better.
And she continues the manipulation. She knows what buttons to push on Stannis, and he knows that he has never had a son. It really bothers him. And that's what she uses. I can give you a son. Yeah,
for all of her magic, her greatest ability is always to use her sexuality to manipulate weak-minded men. She does it to Gendry, she does it to Davos' son, she does it to Stannis. She can't do it to Davos. I wouldn't say that Stannis is particularly weak-minded, but it's like what I said before. It's the perfect match for Melisandre. We know that she uses the glamour to present herself as a beautiful woman, even though she could be hundreds of years old, or she might just be like 80. For all we know. They never kind of went back to that. But it's that power of sexuality over men. And
yeah, I think it's a combination of both when it comes to Stannis. Most men, I think she can get that by on, but Stannis is kind of has that inner turmoil between his honor and the person he is versus what Melisandre tells him. Like, it's kind of like Davos and Melisandre are the angel and the devil on his shoulders, steering him in either direction.
And I was thinking during this episode, specifically during this scene, that the relationship between Cersei and Tyrion, I think before the show there was obviously no love lost between them, but I don't think it was the pure hatred they have for each other like they do by the time season 3 gets along. Because I think it's all this stress and drama, the War of the Five Kings, it really just solidifies that wedge between them that they can never be siblings. They can never be friends. And this scene goes from Tyrion chastising Cersei to Cersei just blowing up on Tyrion. That always makes me very sad and angry.
Well, yeah, I mean, it starts out with him basically implying that she gave the order to kill all the bastards.
Yeah, and he figures out that she didn't.
Like we talked about, the change from the books.
And he almost pities her here.
And then he makes a joke about Jaime falling on top of her, and Cersei just absolutely...
What does Cersei say? That all of it's fallen on me? And then that's what Tyrion says? Is that, like, Jaime's been falling on you?
Yeah. It's like Teddy when, like, I'm like, oh, Teddy, suck at, like, you know, FIFA or something, and he'll, like...
Well, he did that to you the other day on Twitter.
Yeah.
You were like, you're trash at every game you play, and Teddy was like, well, your life sucks, so don't fucking project that on me.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
What?
It's even worse, like, in person. I think, like, that's tame Teddy on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, Teddy's
he's trying to paint
bad.
a good face for the audience.
But what Tyrion says, I mean, what Cersei says to Tyrion in this scene, God, her and Tywin, they just love bringing this up. And I love what Tyrion says. You know, she was my mother too. I didn't fucking intentionally kill her. I didn't like waltz out, twirling a cane, saying, "Ah ha ha, Joanna's dead."
That'd have been pretty wild.
Maybe he did though. Maybe we're not seeing.
Were you there?
That's true. I wasn't there.
Yeah, and she's always had that animosity towards him. I think this is...
Yeah, when the Oberyn scene.
Yeah, I
in
was
season
thinking
4.
about that. I was trying to think if that's in the books of the show. It gets so muddled sometimes.
Especially. They kind of blend together.
Yeah, especially later on when she's speaking to Oberyn about the time when she showed Oberyn Tyrion's body, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a little baby. I don't know what it is." And she twists his thing and says, "This is Beast killed my mother," or something along those lines. So it's always... Jaime's the only one that could see past that.
On my notes for the last scene, I have Jon see some things, man. Seen some things out north of the wall, man. Second time we see a White Walker. Puts a new spin on the White Walkers.
Yeah, it kind of confirms Jon's suspicions that he's doing something shady with the boys, but...
Well, I think he's like, oh, he's going to take him out to the woods and he's going to kill him. And I love that about Jon. Even though George gives him that speech, he just can't stay away. He reminds me of Batman. You know, like when Batman in the beginning, I'll get a compliment Batman v Superman. When he's in Metropolis and the building is coming down and everybody's running away and Batman's running towards it. That's kind of like Jon. He just can't help it. It's turned on all the time.
They both wear black, too.
And they both prowl in the night.
Yeah, Night's Watch, Dark Knight. Holy shit.
These dots are not forming a picture. We're connecting them, but...
Just wait. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to check the YouTube app and there's just going to be a video from me.
Like I said, Jon, I think he's expecting to see Craster kill the baby and then he'll confront him, and what he sees is a lot more terrifying. And we learn later in the seasons that they're taking the babies and turning them into White Walkers. It almost feels like going into season 8, it's another thing that's kind of, I don't know if it's being ignored, but there should be like 40 White Walkers.
There's a lot more, like, I feel like in that shot when they changed the baby into a White Walker. And Craster probably had a decent amount of sons, so...
Well, look at all the daughters he had. You have to think 50-50, you know. Those are the odds. And they're all Gilly's brothers.
Yeah, maybe when that White Walker attacked Gilly, he was just trying to catch up on things. Like, what up, sis?
It's like, oh, what's up, man? I got this hitch in my leg. Can't really walk fast.
And Sam...
baby?
Yeah, and Sam just ruined it.
Sam just fucking butchered him.
Yeah.
Holy shit, don't bring him to family reunions.
Kind of want to see, like, in the end of Guardians 2, when we see Teenage Groot, I want to see Teenage White Walkers.
Oh, that must be weird. Billy, it's time for your training. No, get out of my room. I told you, I don't want to be a White Walker, Dad. I want to be a knight. You can't be a knight, Billy. You're a fucking demon.
Maybe that's why they're so angry, because they were never allowed to follow their dreams.
But overall, I think this is a very solid episode. I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10.
It's a nice, solid, another middle episode Game of Thrones. The classic middle episode that sets up the next episode, and it's still a good episode. Not too much happens, but generates more interest on what's going to happen, especially with that last shot. I feel like I've been giving too many 8.5s, 8s, 9s. I'll give it like an 8.2.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this video, and before we go, I want to quickly thank our Patreon supporters. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to grow and evolve as a channel, so thank you for your generous pledges. If you are interested in supporting our channel through Patreon, visit www.patreon.com/nerdsoup, and you can see the different rewards we offer to our Patreon supporters. T-shirts, mugs, stickers, access to our behind-the-scenes video, and more. Thanks again for watching this video, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Or dislike, don't share, and unsubscribe. It's a binary world, folks.